And a good Monday morning to you. A new blast of severe weather across the country.
With tens of millions bracing for even more. It is June 22nd. This is today. Path of destruction.
Violent tornado in progress.
Nearly 40 tornadoes stretching from Colorado to Indiana. The storm threat pushing east today, set to bring heavy rain and high winds to the East Coast, while dangerous heat blankets the West. Al's got the full forecast. Face-to-face, Vice President J.D. Vance overseas today to salvage peace talks with Iran.
If they are willing to give up nuclear weapons ambitions for the long term, then the United States is willing to fundamentally transform our relationship with that country.
The first day of negotiations showing encouraging progress, according to mediators. We're live in Switzerland with the very latest. Stepping down, embattled British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announcing his resignation.
Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party.
Just ahead, the pressure he was under after months of scandals and missteps, and who could replace him as the UK's 7th leader in just a decade. We're live in London. Breaking overnight, former Fed Chair Alan Greenspan, one of the most influential economists in U.S. history, and the beloved husband of our colleague Andrea Mitchell, has passed away at the age of 100. We will look back at his memorable life and impact. Not easy being green. National park workers still scrambling to clean up the reflecting pool plagued with algae and peeling paint. We'll take you inside the race to have it ready before America's big 250th celebration. Those stories, plus wire to wire. Colorado native Wyndham Clark hangs on to win his second U.S. Open title. While at the World Cup, the U.S. team eager to build off their historic unbeaten start and string of victories.
Hopefully they can keep it going.
That has fans suddenly focused on the biggest just let them say it. Today, Monday, June 22nd, 2026.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Greg Melvin. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Thanks for being with us on a Monday morning when you can't do it better than the guy who says goal. Just let him do it.
Let Mr. Cantor do it. Yeah, Team USA. A lot of folks have been pleasantly surprised by how well we've played so far.
On a roll.
On a roll. Yeah. Yes, I like that. I like you in game show mode. It's a busy start to the week. Let's get right to that breaking news. A deadly tornado outbreak tearing through the Midwest.
Yeah, twisters hammered Illinois, killing at least 2 people, injuring many more. Nearly 40 reports of tornadoes across the region. And this threat is far from over.
In fact, more than 50 million are at risk today, from the plains to the East Coast, at risk for damaging winds, heavy rain, and possible flooding.
Well, the story out west on this first full day of summer is the dangerous heat. More than 20 million on alert from the Pacific Northwest through the southern plains. We've got it all covered. Al's got the full forecast, of course. Let's get started, though, with NBC's Priscilla Thompson. She's in Houston. They are bracing for those high temps there today. Hi, Priscilla. Good morning.
Yeah, hey, Savannah, good morning. Summer is off to a sizzling start with splash pads like this one likely to be in high demand across the country as millions are dealing with the heat and others are bracing for more severe storms. Overnight, summer storms slamming parts of the Midwest.
Be a violent tornado in progress.
Spawning nearly a dozen estimated tornadoes across Illinois.
It's getting bigger.
This one in Jefferson County sending debris flying. Another 24 reported twisters in Indiana.
From the backside heading south. There it is.
There it is. Oh my gosh, it's so big.
Leaving a path of destruction.
An apartment was taken out by a tornado, multiple entrapments.
This shopping center in Evansville, Indiana, heavily damaged, littered with shattered glass and rubble. At least 3 deaths reported in Kansas and Illinois from the storms. More severe weather plaguing other parts of the country over the weekend, with heavy wind and rain drenching parts of Oklahoma, stranding drivers on a Kansas highway, and flooding a bridge to get to this farm. Floodwaters also rising in several communities across the South.
Oh, a lot of stuff has floated away.
while out west and across the plains, millions are feeling the heat.
It's really hot.
A wild weekend of weather as summer officially gets underway.
And I want to give you a sense of this stifling heat. So I've got my thermometer here. Already it is 80 degrees here in Houston, and the sun is not even up, and it is expected to feel like triple digits today. Savannah?
All right, Priscilla Thompson starting us off. Thank you.
Yeah, for a lot of folks, it's the heat. For a lot of other folks, it's those storms. Let's bring in Al. Al, good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, guys, and good morning to you. And we are looking at severe weather firing up already this morning. Heavy thunderstorms from western New York, Ohio, stretching all the way back to Oklahoma. And we've got flash flood watches and warnings right now from Beckley, West Virginia, down through Louisville, also back through Arkansas into Oklahoma. We have a risk of severe weather today. 54 million people. Look at this swath from Rapid City all the way to Texarkana, then again down through the southeast and into the mid-Atlantic and northeast as well for those strong storms, possibility of tornadoes. Today, a soggy start. We'll look for very heavy thunderstorms moving into the northeast right during that World Cup match. Heavy thunderstorms also down through the south. We make that way through tomorrow. Then we're going to be looking at a severe threat in the midsection of the country where we will see severe weather, 5 million people at risk. The good news, a low threat for tornadoes, but gusty winds and damaging hail. When all is said and done, we are looking at anywhere through tomorrow from about an inch or two in the northeast all the way down through northern Texas and into parts of the plains. Now, the heat, this is going to be very dangerous over the next several days. You can see from Seattle all the way to Midland, Texas, 21 million people under heat advisories. Look at these temperatures. Phoenix, triple digits. Same in El Paso, high 90s into Durango, Fresno, California, up to 100 by Wednesday. Even the upper 80s as you get into the Pacific Northwest. Guys?
All right, Al, thank you. Another major story breaking overnight, those face-to-face talks between the U.S. and Iran. The first since that interim agreement to end the war. The vice president leading the U.S. delegation in Switzerland. And this morning, mediators are reporting encouraging progress toward a lasting peace deal. NBC's Keir Simmons joins us with the very latest. Keir, good morning.
Savannah, good morning to you. And the Vice President just speaking, calling yesterday a very, very good day and saying that they made a lot of progress. The Iranian high-level delegation has already left after what it said was 18 hours of tense talks in this picturesque location. The road to the resort where the talks took place has now been closed. Local police telling us that another delegation, likely the Vice President, is set to depart. This morning, after a long day of talks with Iran, Vice President J.D. Vance indicating some progress is being made, saying soon after arriving in Switzerland,
peace is never easy. Peace always requires a little bit of work. It always requires a little bit of give and take.
Pictured late last night, hunched over a computer with President Trump's son-in-law and Qatar's Prime Minister. Then an early morning statement from Qatar and Pakistan, the talks' mediators, saying all sides agreed a roadmap towards reaching a final deal within 60 days. Earlier, high tension in the room, senior Iranian officials refusing to shake hands with US delegates in front of the cameras, a diplomat with knowledge of the talks telling NBC News. Here you can see the leader of Iran's delegation with Vice President Vance in the background looking on. Then the Iranians leave. One major disruption, continued Israeli and Hezbollah strikes in Lebanon, despite a new ceasefire. Israel is not at the talks.
We've seen great progress over the last just couple of days in ensuring that the ceasefire holds in Lebanon. These things are always a little bit messy.
Minutes later from Washington, President Trump posting, if Iran doesn't stop its proxies in Lebanon, we'll hit Iran very hard again. Iran's lead negotiator responding with his own post, writing, the US better be careful. Our armed forces are ready to respond. At one point, Iranian hardliners telling their media the Strait of Hormuz had been closed again. The US military reporting ships continue to pass. President Trump threatening Iran's delegation that if the strait was closed, you won't have a country. You won't even make it back to your expletive country. But this morning's statement from Switzerland saying the two sides agreed on working groups to focus on issues like nuclear and sanctions, calling the atmosphere positive and constructive. And Savannah, in those comments just a moment ago, the vice president saying they have made progress on a number of fronts, including keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, deconfliction in Lebanon, and allowing nuclear inspectors back into Iran. Savannah?
All right, Keir Simmons, thank you very much.
We've got more breaking news to get to this morning. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announcing his plans to resign amid mounting pressure from his own party. NBC's Molly Hunter is in London for us on this breaking news. Molly, good morning. What can you tell us?
Craig, good morning. That's right. Mounting pressure. The speculation has been rising in recent days. Just about 2 years after Prime Minister Keir Starmer won a massive mandate, putting the Labour Party back into power, he announced this morning that he is stepping down. In a short resignation speech outside the Prime Minister's residence, you see that famous black door right there, Starmer summed up his government's achievements. He said he was very proud of his time in office and said it was clear his party had lost faith in his leadership. Now, he also said he informed King Charles of his decision this morning. Craig, as far as what's next, if it's a single candidate, it will be an orderly transition. If there are multiple, there will be an election. Within the Labour Party, it will all be wrapped up by September, and Starmer said he will fully support his successor. Now, perhaps, though, the part of his speech which will be most memorable that people are really talking about here this morning is this. Take a listen.
I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife, Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad. And being the best.
And you hear his voice right there. His wife, Victoria, was there today. He also said he'd spend more time with his kids, being the best dad. This is a man who is often criticized for failing to connect emotionally with the electorate. And Craig, there's also a lot of soul searching here, or will be in coming days, about who, if anyone, can effectively run this country. Britain will have had 7 prime ministers in just 10 years. Guys?
All right, Molly Hunter there on that breaking news overseas. Molly, thank you.
Also this morning, there are new developments when it comes to those ongoing setbacks for the newly renovated reflecting pool in the nation's capital, plagued with algae and peeling paint. The president is now blaming vandalism. NBC's senior White House correspondent, Gabe Gutierrez, picks up the story there. Hi, Gabe. Good morning.
Hi, Savannah. Good morning. President Trump met with contractors at Camp David over the weekend, and he now says the reflecting pool will likely need to be drained again, less than a month after the pool was resurfaced as part of an expensive renovation. This morning, a monumental mess outside the Lincoln Memorial, with National Park Service workers scrambling to fix the iconic reflecting pool. Despite a recent $14 million renovation spearheaded by the president, the reflecting pool has been plagued with algae blooms that turn the water green and peeling paint.
Why do it in the first place? Don't fix what's not broken.
President Trump now says the reflecting pool will need to be at least partly drained for repairs immediately and is blaming the problems on vandalism without presenting any evidence. On Friday, U.S. Park Police arrested 3-time Olympic canoeist David Hearn, charging him with destruction of government property after he reached into the water to touch a piece of the peeling paint. He denies doing anything wrong.
They didn't remove, tear, rip, break, or destroy any of it. The condition of the reflecting pool was the same after I stepped away from the water as it was before I got there.
Now the Trump administration is threatening years in jail for anyone who damages the pool.
Anyone who was in a position of vandalizing or attempting to vandalize the reflecting pool will face the criminal justice system in D.C.
Maintenance of the century-old reflecting pool has been a challenge for decades. The president had pushed to overhaul it ahead of the nation's 250th anniversary celebrations, touting a new blue base.
Everybody's looking at that reflecting pool. They can't believe it. Reflects. We used a dark blue. It's called American flag blue.
But soon after the pool's reopening, in the heat, the blue water turned green from that algae bloom. Workers rushed to clean it up, dumping hydrogen peroxide into it. Then, pieces of the newly repainted bottom began peeling. Now the search for a new solution is underway, with less than 2 weeks until the 4th of July. An administration official says 5 people have been arrested for vandalism as of Saturday night. 5 others issued federal citations. President Trump says he inspected the reflecting pool on Sunday. Marine One was spotted flying over the area. Savannah.
All right, Gabe, thank you very much.
We've got more to get to this morning, including some sad news from Washington overnight. Alan Greenspan, the influential economist who chaired the Federal Reserve for 2 decades and was also The beloved husband of our dear colleague Andrea Mitchell has died at the age of 100. NBC's Kristen Welker now with more on his life and legacy.
Alan Greenspan may be most remembered outside of Washington for his indecipherable testimonies and pronouncements before Congress. It was all by design.
When, say, a congressman asks you a question and you don't want to say no comment or I won't answer or something like that, so I proceed with 4 or 5 sentences which get increasingly obscure. The congressman thinks I answered the question and goes on to the next one. The housing market in the United States is quite heterogeneous, and it does not have the capacity to move excesses easily.
He was called Greenspeak. He was famous for talking a lot and not saying very much, but doing so intentionally. What he said very famously is, if you understand what I'm saying, I must have misspoken.
As opaque as they were, Greenspan's words still moved markets.
How do we know when irrational exuberance?
After hearing that phrase, irrational exuberance, the markets tanked. Long before he was calling the tune of the economy, Greenspan was trying to make it in the music world. He was born in the Washington Heights neighborhood of New York City in 1926, the son of a stockbroker, but he chose to study clarinet and piano. He even became a professional musician, but it wasn't to be his career.
The most important economic decision that I made was to leave the music business.
Greenspan then chose economics, earning a PhD, working on Wall Street for 30 years, and for Presidents Nixon and Ford.
Today, it's my pleasure to welcome Alan Greenspan back to official service to his country.
In 1987, President Reagan appointed him chairman of the Federal Reserve. Greenspan remained in the post for almost 20 years through the presidencies of Reagan, George Bush, Bill Clinton, and then George W. Bush.
When he was Fed chairman, there was the longest U.S. economic expansion on record.
But as good as the economy was during most of Greenspan's career at the Fed, he will also be remembered for one big moment toward the end of his tenure.
He missed the housing bubble, and second, he thought that the complicated derivatives that had become so rife inside the financial system would regulate themselves. That turned out to be wrong.
I was shocked because
he later admitted his mistake as the economy slid into recession in 2008. Greenspan made another very important decision. In 1984, he asked NBC's own Andrea Mitchell out on a date. The pair became the ultimate Washington power couple. They were married in 1997 by Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. In 2002, Greenspan was knighted by Britain's Queen Elizabeth. In 2005, George W. Bush awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
He is a believer in economic freedom, open and flexible markets, and boundless human creativity.
In the end, Alan Greenspan believed in capitalism as surely as he believed in himself. It is a system, he said, that holds integrity and trustworthiness as cardinal virtues. Kristen Welker, NBC News, Washington.
Well, what a life. And Andrea just shared a statement with us this morning. She says, Alan passed away at our home this morning at the age of 100 from complications of Parkinson's disease. He was a giant of a man who helped shape the U.S. economy for decades under presidents of both parties, but was always honest in acknowledging his mistakes. To me, he was my husband who shaped my life from our very first date in 1984. He had irrational exuberance for baseball, the Washington Commanders, tennis, golf, and music, especially jazz. He will be remembered for his brilliance and his kindness. Being his life partner was the joy of my life. Oh. And having witnessed it over these years, she was a devoted and incredible partner to Alan and him to her as well. And so we're sending you our love, Andrea.
We are indeed, my friend. A life well lived, a life well lived. Mr. Roker, how about one more check of the weather, good sir?
It was great to hear how rounded a human being he is.
Yes.
That's terrific, too. Well, let's take a quick look, show you we got some strong storms in the northeast, heavy rain in the central plains, and that heat building out west. We're going to get to your local forecast coming up in the next 30 seconds. And that's your latest weather, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Al, thank you. Just ahead, the U.S. off to its best World Cup start in nearly 100 years. And American fans, they're starting to go there.
Yeah.
Starting to dream real big.
Yeah.
We're going to take you inside the growing frenzy as the tournament kicks off its third week.
Also, it's a huge week for summer sales. Amazon, Target, Walmart, all hosting big events this week. So we're going to give you a little guide to the best discounts. But first, this is Today on NBC. A possible gray hair game changer.
The potential fix that could return your natural color.
You are a toy! You weren't the real Buzz Lightyear, you're an action figure! You are a child's plaything!
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell.
Back now, 7:30 with a classic there, the OG Toy Story. Coming up in Pop Start, Mr. Daly here is going to tell us about the massive weekend box office debut for Toy Story 5. 31 years after the original. People can't get enough of it.
Well, they say out of sight, out of mind. That's not the case here. So it did quite well. We have the full story.
Welcome back, by the way.
I appreciate it.
And happy birthday.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll leave it at there. First up in this half hour, World Cup fever.
Another thrilling weekend is in the books, and one of the biggest stories is actually the success of the U.S. team.
Yeah, in just 2 games, they've already clinched the top spot in their group and the ticket to the knockout rounds, and that's got fans dreaming very, very big this morning. NBC's Jesse Kirsch joins us now with more. Jesse, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. This is a huge coup for the American squad. Since they've already clinched that top spot, their last match in the opening round effectively does not matter, win, lose, or draw. That means that the U.S. can rest key players for the battles ahead, and the Americans are not the only ones dreaming big.
Following this shutout win over Australia, this morning, the U.S. is officially heading to the World Cup knockout stage.
They're a powerhouse team. I think they can play with any of them right now.
And the team's making history along the way. That 2-0 takedown marks back-to-back World Cup wins, which the U.S. men have not pulled off since 1930.
Hopefully they can keep it going.
The team delivering, even with superstar Christian Pulisic still recovering from injury. And former U.S. men's star Taylor Twellman says the 2 wins set the team up to take it a little easy in their next game this week against Turkey.
Winning the group was imperative in a 48-team tournament because now they will play a third-place qualifier, and that really sets the United States up to avoiding any of the heavy hitters until the quarterfinals.
This is the best I've ever seen them.
The Americans hardly the only ones celebrating this weekend. Curacao tied Ecuador. Goalkeeper Eloy Room making 15 saves.
Se equivocó Uruguay, Muslera está.
Another island underdog, Cape Verde, also broke even against Uruguay. Their goalkeeper, known as Vozinha, skyrocketing to fame after shutting out powerhouse Spain. His mother missed that game because she did not have a visa, but the U.S. State Department offered to help, and his mother made it to Miami for last night's game. Meanwhile, far beyond the pitch, the fans continue to shine. Norway's Viking row echoing through New York's Times Square. And after a very public love affair between the city of Boston and Scotland's Tartan Army,
it has been a lot of fun, but for now, we're moving on.
The bagpipes and kilts are taking their talents to South Beach, not without a fond farewell for the devoted soccer fans who drank up so much of Boston and its beer. The Boston Globe printing a full-page thank you, writing, "We'll never forget the joy you brought to our city."
And all the money, too. That's the least they could do there. Jesse, do we know when Christian Pulisic is going to play again, when he's going to play next?
Craig, it's still TBD, but even if Christian Pulisic were healthy enough to play in this last group stage match, you can make the argument that he should still sit out so he doesn't risk re-aggravating that injury. On the other hand, you might want to give him at least some playing time so that he can get back into a rhythm. So that is one big thing we're watching. The other big thing I'm watching here in Miami, Craig, is how much beer the Tartan Army will drink once they are here in South Florida. But rest assured, if we run out of beer down here, We always have mojitos, Craig.
That's
Back
true.
To you guys.
That's true. Thank you, Jesse Kirsch. Thank you. Don't forget, you can watch every match of the World Cup in Spanish on Telemundo and Peacock. I'm excited. We're going to head out. I think I told you we were heading out tonight to see Norway and Senegal over at MetLife.
It's been fun. These World Cup fans are everywhere. It's so fun to see this, like, from all these different countries.
Doesn't matter what game you watch.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Yes.
Hope it stays dry for you out there. Coming up, guys, the stars he helped create now paying tribute to the legendary Jim Burrows. We're going to celebrate the life and legacy of the famed director behind some of TV's most beloved sitcoms.
But first, this is a huge week for summer sales. Everything from tech to your groceries. Brian Chung's here to break it all down right after this.
We're back, 7:39 now. We're going to save you some money with this morning's In-Depth Today.
There are a lot of big sales this week. Discounts on summer essentials, tech, home goods, even groceries.
So here to help us find the best deals, NBC's business correspondent Brian Chung, who's been scouring all the deals. So,
hey, Brian.
Okay, where should we shop this week if we want to save a little cash?
Yeah, well, look, if you're already loading up your carts, I would say double check your work because a number of retailers are initiating these markdowns today and tomorrow, starting off with Walmart and Best Buy. Their deals already began today. They stretched through Sunday, 40 to 50% off patio items, pet supplies at Walmart. Best Buy, we were seeing up to 50, 60% off TVs, some gaming sets. Those deals will last through Sunday. At Amazon and Target, you do have to wait until tomorrow for those deals to begin. They're going to last through roughly Friday. Amazon Prime Week, 25 to 45% off things like tech and travel essentials, whereas over at Target, 45% off home and beauty. So again, these are pretty decent markdowns. It might be your best stop to get some of these deals before the next big discount holiday, which is going to be Black Friday and Cyber Monday later on this year.
Do you have to be a part, like for Amazon and Target, like you have to be part of the circle for Target?
Right. You would have to have Amazon Prime or Target Circle in order to get some of those.
What about groceries? I mean, inflation's top of mind for a lot of folks at this point.
Yeah, well, people are sensitive to price tags, specifically with groceries right now. So these retailers are trying to offer discounts as well. Over at Amazon, they're offering $1 to $3 barbecue staples, things like cherries, hot dogs, buns, corn for your grill out. So a good option at Amazon Fresh, as well as at Whole Foods. They're also offering a 1 year of free groceries for 100 lucky people. Anyone that puts in an order over $15 on Amazon Prime will be entered in for that sweepstakes. Target is offering 20% off toiletries. They're also offering a free coffee. I believe it's tomorrow. And Walmart, 25% off select snacks.
Wait, so break this down by category as far as now. And you mentioned Cyber Monday and Black Friday later in the year.
Yeah.
What should you get now and what should you wait on?
Yeah, it's overwhelming because it seems like these days there's like a special sales holiday every single week. But experts are telling us that the best things to buy around this time of year would be things like apparel, toys. Adobe Analytics saying the steepest sales tend to be around now for those things. Household goods as well. Trey Bodge, a shopping expert that we speak to, says on laptops, you might want to wait until you get a little bit closer to back to school. That's when the sales are going to be better. But generally, back to school items right now are going to be good to score because you don't risk those things selling out once you get to the store, empty shelves. That's a problem once you get to August. But again, use price comparison tools and also just don't buy anything that you don't need, especially with some of those tempting deals.
Let's say it's your friend's birthday today and he doesn't want to talk about it, but you haven't gotten him anything and you like a really good
school
deal.
supplies. Yeah, I was going to say it could be some good deals at Walmart or Best Buy at least today. So we'll make sure we'll get you something.
Good. Let us know when kegs are 50% off.
Okay, yeah, let me write that down. Let me write that down. Yeah, I'll put a price tracker on that.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Mr. Roker.
Hey, guys, thanks so much. Well, we've got the heat out west, that excessive record-setting heat. But in the midsection of the country into the northeast, temperatures cooler than average. Omaha, only 77 today. 12 degrees cooler in Milwaukee at 66. New York, 5 degrees cooler at 77. And as we move on into tomorrow, those temperatures stay cool. Denver, a little below average. Kansas City, you're at 81. Charleston, 79. Little Rock, 83. But then temperatures start trending warmer as we head on toward the weekend with temperatures in the mid-80s here in New York City. Upper 80s in D.C. Columbus will see temperatures in the low 90s. A lot of people traveling over to Europe for vacation. Well, guess what? It is going to be sweltering. Europe's the fastest warming continent, warming twice as fast as the global average because of climate change. Well, look at these temperatures. Budapest going to be near 90. Toulouse going to be in the triple digits. Paris triple digits by Tuesday. Same in Madrid. So it is going to be awfully warm. Officials there warning people to take it easy, even canceling outdoor events. So if you're traveling, you're going to have to really be cool. And not a lot of AC there, and not a lot of deodorant either. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods. Hashtag birthday PSSP.
Hey, let's get to your sneak peek, guys. Hope you guys all had a wonderful Father's Day. Of course, we saw a number of posts over on social media honoring some of our favorite famous dads. Let's show a couple of them here. We'll start across the pond with this one. With the royal family to celebrate, Princess Kate shared this never-before-seen photo of her husband, Prince William, with their daughter, Princess Charlotte.
Really got dressed up.
Little extra cause for dressing up, maybe, because it was also the prince's 44th birthday. So happy belated birthday to him.
Birthday suit.
One more stateside.
Thank you.
That's one way to do it. One more for here. Actress Demi Moore sharing a touching tribute to her ex-husband, Bruce Willis, posting these photos of Bruce and their 3 daughters over the years, along with a few recent pictures. Demi writing in the caption, "Generations of Love." And we hope you had a good Father's Day, guys.
All right, more pop star in just a bit. Plus, is that Jenna I spy over
Yes. Hi, guys. We're also celebrating Father's Day on The Boost with what's sure to be the ultimate gift for one golf-loving dad. But first, these messages.
We're back. It's Monday. We've got a boost from Jenna.
Okay, you know, I actually got these boosts from 2 of our favorite dads, Carson and Al.
Good one.
It's a double boost, okay? And we're honoring Father's Day. Okay, let's start with the teenage golfer Miles Russell. Miles was the youngest player at this year's U.S. Open. He wanted to end his first major with the person who supported him every step of the way. So Miles surprised his dad, Joe, getting him to take over as his caddy for the final hole of the championship. Joe had no idea until he was handed the caddy bib in the bag. And just look how happy the pair were. Isn't it beautiful walking up the last green together? The 17-year-old made par on that 18th hole with his dad beaming right next to him.
Love that.
Isn't that a
Thank you for
beautiful
playing.
moment?
Great moment for any of us.
Do they
who
time
played
U.S.
golf with our
Open?
Parents. What?
Do they time the U.S. Open for Father's Day? Because it's like a perfect gift.
Yeah,
Right?
It is the
It's
perfect
part
gift.
of it, I know.
Yeah.
Hank Hager watched it all
great
day
moment.
yesterday.
All right, you got another one?
This is one from Al. It's
That's
a
right, Deborah
touching.
told me about
it's beautiful. Well, thank you, Deborah. This is a send-off for a remarkable dad. Meet Captain Jim Curtis, who is retiring after 22 years as a pilot at Southwest Airlines. For his final flight, he got to fly alongside a special co-pilot.
Remember for the rest of our lives. I'm really honored to be his first officer today because Captain Curtis has been a mentor for me my entire life. He inspired me to be a pilot. On top of becoming a pilot, he also helped teach me how to walk, how to talk, how to ride a bike, how to throw a baseball, how to drive a car, and probably most importantly, he taught me how to carry myself with humility, kindness, and integrity both in and out of work. Because Captain Curtis is also my dad.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm crying at my...
What a great tie.
Craig and I are crying.
That's an awesome tie he's wearing.
That's Jim's daughter, Julia, who is also a pilot. What a special way to cap off a remarkable career.
You're forced to retire at 65.
Yes.
As a pilot. So it's just beautiful.
His last flight.
Yeah.
This
That was good. Nice double boost.
2 good ones there.
She's crying.
We're
He's
both crying.
Oh, it's just so dusty in here.
You're crying at that golf
That's
one.
right.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
He's crying because the U.S. Open is over.
Yeah, it was so good. All right, guys, still ahead. Something to listen for in the new Minions movie on Popstar. We're going to tell you about the legendary and surprising voice you might notice.
All right. Also, speaking of films, Supergirl herself, actress Millie Alcock, she's going to soar right into Studio 1A. Right after a quick check of your local news, weather, these messages.
It's 8 o'clock on Today. Coming up, dangerous conditions. Overnight tornadoes slamming parts of the Midwest.
It's getting bigger.
Leaving behind a path of destruction. While out west, millions under extreme heat warnings on this first full day of summer. Al's got your full forecast. Then, honoring an icon. New tributes pouring in for Jim Burrows, the legendary director behind some of the most popular sitcoms of all time.
Last noon, I'm host of my wife.
You remember my brother Ross? Sure.
How he created some of television's funniest moments as he's remembered by other Hollywood heavyweights. And going gray, for some, it's stylish. For others, not so much. But is there now a way to get your natural color back?
I would say the major reason why we gray is loss of these cells as we age.
Is there a way to get them back?
I think there is.
Our look at the science that could have some people ditching the dye. All that, plus Supergirl flies into Studio 1A.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. for you guys.
Legally Blonde's class reunion.
What, like it's hard?
And Toy Story back on top.
It's been too long, cowboy.
Today, Monday, June 22nd, 2026.
Celebrating our 55th wedding anniversary.
Howdy, my dad.
In Morelos, Michigan.
Visiting from Wellington, Florida.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Virginia Beach, Virginia. Melville, Texas.
And Sacramento, California.
Sisters trip to New York City.
From Indy.
Celebrating my 35th birthday.
From Memphis, Tennessee.
I want to be the next Craig Melvin.
He's coming for the job.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
I just got it.
Well, let's sit down and chat after the show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Today. Glad you're with us on a Monday morning.
Yeah, thanks for starting your week with us. I'm just looking ahead to tomorrow, by the way. What if you could get high-end prescription glasses for just $20 a pair? Our consumer team tried out this new online retailer, and the results, well, you'll just need to see them for yourself tomorrow.
I got you. Now let's get to your news. 8 o'clock, we begin with severe weather stretching across the country. Nearly 40 tornadoes touching down yesterday from Colorado to Indiana. Those twisters leaving a path of destruction in the Midwest. At least 3 people were killed. This morning, tens of millions are bracing for even more nasty weather as that storm moves east. And Al is back with a look at the latest forecast. Good morning.
Good morning, guys, and good morning to you. And we're looking at heavy thunderstorms and showers moving in between Rochester and Cleveland. Also heavy thunderstorms now moving from Oklahoma into Arkansas. We've got flash flood watches from the northeast into the Midwest and part of the plains, and flash flood warnings as well. Under 40 million people are in those warnings. Right now, we've got a risk for 54 million people from the northeast into the southern plains and out west as well. Wind gusts, isolated tornadoes here and there. We watch this system making its way toward the east. Soggy start here in the northeast, then isolated storms out in the high plains tomorrow. We are looking for heavy thunderstorms later this evening for our World Cup match here in the northeast in New Jersey. Could be a delay or two. We're also looking for anywhere 1 to 3 inches of rain throughout this same region. Now, out west from Seattle all the way down to Midland, Texas, 21 million people under heat advisories, watches, and warnings. We've got temperatures that are going to be into the 90s for Salt Lake City, triple digits, Phoenix and El Paso. Out in Fresno, touching 100 over the next few days, and those 90s and 80s extend all the way into the Pacific Northwest, guys.
All right, I will come back to you in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, a 76-year-old Texas woman was killed over the weekend when a Tesla slammed into her home. A doorbell camera actually captured the moment that the car left the roadway and crashed to the front of the brick house. The driver telling investigators that the Tesla was in an automated driving mode at the time of the crash. Police say an investigation is underway.
Hollywood is mourning the loss of legendary TV director Jim Burrows, who passed away over the weekend at the age of 85. He was the mastermind behind such hit shows as Cheers. He directed other classics like Friends, Frasier, and Will and Grace. NBC's Liz Kreutz joins us now with a look back at his life. Liz, good morning.
Hi, Savannah. Good morning to you. I actually had the chance to sit down with Jim Burrows a few years ago, where he shared stories of the early days of Friends, taking the cast, who he called the kids, to Vegas to help build their chemistry and to prepare them for the spotlight. He was known as a father figure not only by the Friends cast, but by so many others who had the chance to work with him.
Action! He was the brilliant creative mind behind the golden age of must-see TV. From Cheers
Afternoon, everybody. No!
to Friends.
I just want to be married again.
And I just want $1 million. Jim Burrows turned sitcoms into sensations, directing more than 1,000 episodes of television. His breakthrough in 1974, directing an episode of The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
You know I always fall asleep watching television.
No, I don't know that. How would I know that?
And the hit series Taxi, winning Burrows his first Emmy.
Okay, that's it. You ready for the test? I thought this was a test.
But in the 80s, his work on Cheers revolutionized American sitcoms.
Sammy, what's going on?
I just bought the bar back. Sammy's got the bar.
Masterfully blending sharp comedy with heart for a legendary 11-season run. Then came Friends in 1994, introducing a cast of unknown actors into superstardom, which Burroughs reminisced about here on Today.
I said to the 6 of them, put your seatbelt on, because this is your last shot at anonymity.
But it was the dynamic between the director and his actors.
I think his butt would be angry here.
I think his butt would like to get the shot before lunch.
That fueled that spark, the cast told us in 2016.
Everything that we know about comedy, timing, support, collaboration, you know.
It's all right.
Thank you. He's our papa.
Tributes now streaming in for the beloved director. Ted Danson writing, his laughter taught me what was funny and what was not. And Jennifer Aniston calling him a father figure who spent a lifetime making people feel loved.
And Jim Burroughs is survived by his wife, Debbie, 4 daughters, and 7 grandchildren. His family put out a statement writing of his kindness and his unwavering belief in the people around him, saying his influence will continue to be felt for generations. Savannah.
That is a legacy. All right, Liz, thank you.
To golf now, where it has been more than, well, it had been more than a decade since anyone led wire to wire at the U.S. Open, but that's exactly what Wyndham Clark did at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club this weekend. Clark taking a 2-shot lead right there on the 16th hole. And he held on to win his 2nd U.S. Open title in the past 4 years.
And it's wire to wire for Wyndham. Let's go! And a 2nd U.S. Open championship.
And how about this for a Father's Day surprise? Clark's dad, Randall, took a red-eye flight to New York to surprise his son on the final day of that tournament. He was there to give Wyndham that big hug just seconds after he won the title. I watched it live yesterday, and you could tell he was genuinely surprised that Dad was there.
So sweet. But can I ask a dumb question?
What?
What's wire to wire?
Beginning to end.
Okay,
Yeah.
like from the first day
Yes.
to the end. Okay,
Yes.
thank
Carson,
you.
by the way, played that course.
You did?
A couple weeks
Good
ago.
question. Yeah, they did. They let the members of the media go out to Shinnecock Hills, which isn't too far from here, and Dylan Dryden and I got to go play. It was so
Did you win
impossible.
wire to wire?
No. It was like walking a wire, though. It was very, very difficult.
We're back 8:13 now. Back with a must-see for a lot of folks with graying hair.
There is a potential breakthrough that could have you ditching the dye.
NBC's Ann Thompson is here to explain. Hi, Ann. I know we're both natural blondes.
Absolutely. Good morning. Well, how do you get rid of gray hair? Well, if you're me, I just call my hairdresser. But what if instead of coloring, you could actually get your natural hair color back? There's a researcher in Birmingham, Alabama, who says that may be possible.
Today, gray peppers red carpets. Actors, rockers, even the fictional high priestess of fashion wears it.
Everybody wants this.
But us lesser mortals still want our crowning glory to hide what is a frustrating fact of life. You will get gray hair. Now in this lab at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, Melissa Harris is working on ways to do more than just cover it up.
Is it possible to reverse gray hair?
I absolutely think it is possible to reverse gray hair.
To do that, you first must understand the graying process.
Why does our hair gray?
Our hair grays mostly because of the loss of the cells that we need to keep our hair colored over the entirety of our lifetime.
Your color is controlled by 2 different kinds of cells. Stem cells that create pigment cells that color your hair.
I would say the major reason why we gray is loss of these cells as we age.
Is there a way to get them back?
I think there is if you reactivate your stem cell population.
One theory she's working on involves immunotherapy. It was used to treat lung cancer in 14 patients with an unexpected benefit. Their hair reverted to its natural color. To unlock the mystery, Harris is trying it on animals.
In this set of animals, we've given them the immunotherapy that we believe is going to help prevent gray hair.
And it's made a huge difference.
Yeah, we definitely can see this is mimicking what we've seen in humans that have gotten this immunotherapy, where they have these really dramatic gray hair reversals.
The other possibility is to use a small molecule therapy to reactivate the stem cells to make more pigment cells. You can see the results on this screen.
Wow. I mean, you've gone from a few pigmented cells
to a lot of pigmented cells.
Wow.
Yeah, so we can do these kinds of things in the lab, and so now it's just transitioning it to human application.
Gray hair can be exacerbated by other factors: smoking, drinking, and poor nutrition.
What about stress?
So stress, only more recently in the scientific world have we identified actual scientific mechanisms that show that really high levels of stress can cause those cells that make the pigment to really not be happy.
Just take a look at some of our recent presidents: Jimmy Carter, George W. Bush, Barack Obama. Dr. Lauren Cole is a dermatologist at UAB.
If somebody wanted to reverse the graying process and came to you, what would you tell them today?
Unfortunately, I don't have great options for you at this stage, but it may be something we could consider in the future.
A future Dr. Harris is working to uncover.
By the time I retire, I hope to have this solution on the market.
In addition to age, stress, and nutrition, genetics is one of the strongest factors in determining when you go gray. So if it happened to family members on the earlier side, you're likely to follow suit. Although in the Thompson family, it's not happened that way. Our two youngest went gray early. The two oldest, it took us a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
We're not leaving it to nature over here in the Guthrie family. Exactly. We're just going to go blonder and blonder. Get more ear piercings, too. Exactly. Thank you. That was fun. Interesting, too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ann.
Best time of the morning.
All right, guys, let's get right to Pop Star Uncle Al. Thank you so much. Toy Story 5 is where we're going to start. Our favorite group of toys finally reunited on the big screen this weekend.
Woody! Came here as fast as I could. Why are you wearing a dress, Woody? It's called a poncho, Forky. Whoa!
Someone needs a brown marker.
Halt! Who goes there? Whoa, whoa, whoa! I come in peace.
It's been too long, cowboy.
What are you, some sort of old man toy?
What?
She thinks you're old because you're bald, Woody.
Bunny needs help.
JBH saw it. What did you think?
Well, Hal, who's 6, said when he was done, he said, "I'm going to get home and play with my toys more."
Well, that's mission complete.
Right?
Right? He didn't say, "I want to play with my iPad."
No, he said, "No more
toys.
iPad. I want to
Dust
play
them
with
off,
toys
Mom.
more."
There you go.
Wow, that's great. Well, it killed this weekend. The highly anticipated sequel came out on Friday, sent the weekend box office into infinity and beyond. It brought in $160 million bucks domestically. That does make Toy Story 5 the biggest film opening of the year. It's also second best opening ever for an animated film, just behind Incredibles 2. Wow. So it's off to a great start. Next up, Legally Blonde. It's been over 2 decades since we first fell in love with the fashionable law student Elle Woods.
I go here.
You go where?
Harvard. Law school.
You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard?
That, of course, Reese Witherspoon is the iconic Elle, and in honor of the film's 25th anniversary, Reese reunited with some of her Legally Blonde castmates over the weekend. Jennifer Coolidge, Selma Blair, Ali Larter, Matthew Davis, and Victor Garber joined Reese as they took a little walk down memory lane while also kicking off the franchise's upcoming prequel series called Elle. The group sat down for a panel together where Reese got a little emotional talking about passing the torch as Elle Woods to actress Lexi Minetry.
On top of being this incredibly disciplined, talented young woman, she has such a beautiful heart. And she told me things about her life and her family and things that just showed me her character. And it's just, I could not be more proud to pass the baton or the pink torch to Lexi Minetry as the new Elle Woods.
That is a glowing review there.
Yeah,
How about that?
God.
Very nice. We're going to find out for ourselves. We're going to meet Lexi when she joins us this week to talk about that prequel series called Elle. Next up, Olivia Rodrigo. Her latest album's been delivering catchy new pop anthems and is now soaring to the top of the music charts.
One night I was
album, You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love, just hit #1 on the Billboard 200 album chart. It marks Olivia's third consecutive #1 album and the biggest debut by a solo artist so far in 2026. The record racked up 485,000 album units during its first week, surpassing Drake's Iceman for that coveted top spot. It is on repeat. We all have teenage daughters.
Teens listen to it constantly.
Yes. Next up, teen girls, get ready. George Lucas.
Are they
right?
What?
No, right?
I don't think so.
The legendary,
Yeah.
the legendary filmmaker is returning to the big screen in an unexpected way, joining this animated franchise we can't help but go bananas for.
Les bidous? Matoka. Polano la matoka. Hein? Banana. Stuart? Macareno? Banana. Banana!
That's right. George Lucas has a voice role in the latest film in the Despicable Me universe, Minions and Monsters. In a recent interview with Collider, the head of Illumination revealed that Lucas joined the project after sharing that he's a huge fan of the Minion movies. I don't know. We don't know who exactly he's playing, which Minion or whatever so far. But of course, since the film follows the yellow henchman working in Hollywood, maybe we'll see him back in a directorial role. Lucas has apparently already expressed interest in returning for future Minion sequels. Talk about comeback no one saw coming. Minions and Monsters, by the way, hits theaters on July 1st.
These are not the bananas you're looking for.
Yeah. Or I Am Your Father. Anything like that? Okay.
Finally, Jenna, we're looking at you. You've got a special publishing announcement to share with us.
Yes, I do. You guys, tomorrow we are releasing the next book from my imprint. It is called Abby Offsides by Anna McKelly. Think Ted Lasso meets slow burn romance after calling off her engagement to a cheating fiance. Abby McIntyre books a one-way flight to England and lands a job at a soccer club. She meets a world-famous Scottish soccer star, and sparks may or may not fly. Abby Offsides is out everywhere tomorrow, and we've got all the info on our website, today.com/books.
Does she make shortbread?
Is that a pun? I'm not sure.
Understand
I'm
that.
not sure.
No one knows.
No, but anyway, it's
Ted
a
Lasso,
romance.
he used to make shortbread.
No, but I was England. I was like, maybe crumpet would
It's
have
a
worked. But we'll
romance.
workshop the joke.
It's a romance.
Yeah.
But it's good. You'll love it.
And time for the World
Yes,
Cup.
exactly.
That's right.
All right, guys, there's one more occasion to celebrate.
Oh,
We cannot end
gosh.
Pop Start without raising a toast
Yes.
to Carson's birthday. Let's bring out the Guinness.
Oh,
Split
yes,
that G.
Mikey, thank you.
Wow.
It's going to be a great birthday after all.
I know.
You guys want to
There we
split the
go.
G? You want to try and
Yes.
split the G?
Yeah, I'll try to split the G.
I don't think-
No, actually, better not. It's
I don't
kind of
know
early.
that I can split the G.
Okay, Carson, we
Thank
love
you,
you.
guys.
We love you.
You make
Love you.
every day better. You're
Thank
the
you.
salt and pepper and spice on this meal
Thank
that
you.
we
I
serve
saw the
every
gray hair
morning.
piece, Savannah. I'm going to work on it.
I love you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you,
Cheers.
guys. Love you guys.
Carson.
Love the
Split
best.
My
that
family.
G.
The best.
Thank you.
Can you do it?
Cheers.
Let's see which boy can split the G.
White boy. Let's.
I can't.
I bet he can.
Oh.
Let's see.
I thought you had a doctor's
Whoa,
appointment.
No, he does.
whoa.
There's
He
some
does?
blood work. Hope it's a BAL.
Whoa, he
Okay.
has more
Overshot the
than
runway.
Yeah.
We're back! Back on a Monday morning. We've got a super crowd here, which is appropriate, Dylan Dreyer, because look who's out here. The star of Supergirl. There she is, Millie Alcock there. She brought along some toys, some merch. We're going to sit down with Millie in just a bit. She's going to be back in the third hour as well with one of her co-stars as well. So that'll be fun, D. Dreyer. Oh, this is nice. I like that green.
Thanks.
I enjoyed seeing you over the weekend, too.
When did I see you this weekend?
No, on TV.
At the Royal Ascot.
Oh, you saw me. I didn't
saw
see
you, yes.
Yes, at
On
Royal
television.
Ascot.
There's this
yes.
thing called television, and
I
you were
forgot.
on
I'm
it?
like, what was this weekend?
For a horse race?
Yes,
Saw
Royal
her.
Ascot in London. It was like my favorite thing to cover all year, and it was
That's
very
obviously not
British and
memorable.
fancy. And well, I was just wondering. I'm like, I didn't see you.
You're great.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of London, we also have travel expert Mark Elwood coming up, standing by to help you get a little inspiration, possibly for your next vacation. Says it's not too late to plan for a great summer summer trip that's also affordable. He's going to share some of his favorite picks and deals.
Awesome, you guys. And stick around for the 4th hour. Our pal Matt Rogers is guest co-hosting for Chanel, plus baby reindeer star Richard Gadd is stopping by. He's got another explosive new series. I think you may be into it. It is called Half Man to tell us about.
Baby reindeer.
What are you trying to say? Well,
just like, oh, he's interested.
I think he would be. No, I think Craig likes that kind of show.
Okay, cool.
Who is this cutie?
This is Daisy.
Oh, Daisy. Oh, I love that name. That's how old is she?
She's 9 months old.
Oh, lovely. And we got folks here from the Sarah Bareilles Awards.
Yes.
Our good friend Sarah. What's going on with that?
We are attending the Jimmys today. Our son is at the Jimmys. He wants to see Bareilles.
I'll be performing on Broadway today at the Minskoff Theater.
That is terrific. You know how you get to Broadway? Practice.
That's right.
Craig.
All right, Mr. Rooker, thank you. We turn now to a first-of-its-kind partnership.
That's right. America's top beverage companies are launching an initiative aimed at helping you get important health information in real time.
NBC's Vicki Wynn is here with an exclusive first look. Hi, Vic. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you all at home. Normally, companies like Pepsi and Coca-Cola are in fierce competition, but now they're teaming up. And the move comes as consumers demand transparency around the products they're eating and drinking. But critics say the site doesn't provide a complete picture and that you should rely on multiple sources for your nutrition information.
On billions of packaged beverages sold in America, a new push to share health information using QR codes. Just scan with your smartphone and you'll be directed to a website where you can find goodtoknowfacts.org. Tap the link and you can see the ingredients in your drink, their functions, and how food safety regulators in the U.S. and globally view that ingredient.
It really is about transparency, and it listens to what consumers are asking.
How are they using it?
Meredith Potter is the Chief Strategy Officer at the American Beverage Association, which represents major beverage makers including Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper. They teamed up to develop the site.
One of the things that we heard everywhere we went, particularly was from parents, is questions about ingredients.
The QR code will be printed on drinks including soda, tea, protein, energy, and sports drinks. It's a one-stop shop for information from the FDA, European Food Safety Authority, and Health Canada.
I'm just going to scan the QR code.
I looked up monopotassium phosphate, an ingredient in this Gatorade lower sugar drink.
So it tells me where it's authorized for use, U.S., Europe, and Canada. It's a fair amount of information here.
The move comes as Americans are focusing more on what's in their food and drinks for better health. A recent survey by the research firm EY found 6 in 10 consumers pay attention to ingredients when choosing beverages.
Here's how to read an ingredient list in 30 seconds.
I love reading ingredients where I know what every single one listed is.
It's pushed the rise in popularity of nutrition apps such as Yuka, Bobby Approved, and Zoe, now used by 1/4 of Americans. With many popular soft drinks getting low health scores due to high sugar content and additives like colors, preservatives, and sweeteners.
A lot of these drinks contain sugar or chemicals. Is there a concern that with this nutrition label, people will buy fewer of these drinks?
Well, I think the great thing is there's so many choices, right? We don't decide what is safe. Food safety experts in regulatory bodies and food safety agencies around the world assess and reassess the safety of ingredients.
Consumers really need to be going to other trusted sites that are not funded by industry to get the real information about the ingredients in their foods.
Cardiologist and director of the Food is Medicine Institute at Tufts University, Dr. Dariush Mosafarian, says the site falls short of giving consumers the most updated information and research.
What do you think about this initiative?
The public deserves facts, not marketing. The website highlights information based on outdated government reviews that are in some cases decades old, that ignores hundreds of more recent research studies that really suggest harms about many of these ingredients.
He notes that just because an ingredient is FDA approved doesn't mean it's good for you.
What is your bottom line advice?
Start with the basics. Go to the grocery store. Fill your cart with foods that look close to how they come from nature. Fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, fish, other minimally processed foods. When it comes to drinks, look for water, sparkling water, unsweetened tea or coffee. Small changes repeated every day can really make a big difference in your health.
Now, the ABA says the industry put together this website in part to battle misinformation. For example, that ingredients banned in other countries are allowed in the U.S. While that is true in some cases, this QR code will allow consumers to quickly learn more about what's in their drinks. Pepsi's beverages already have the feature. Coca-Cola and Dr. Pepper will have the codes soon. Bottom line, Dr. Mosafarian says it is good that consumers are paying more attention to what they put in their bodies. Because, guys, food is more than just calories. He says it affects your gut health, your mood, and your lifespan overall. So it is time to start really thinking about, is this worth the treat? You know, which is fine sometimes, but not all the time.
Was there a QR code on that Guinness you just chugged?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll chug it again and find out.
That actually has few ingredients, actually, if you think about it, right? What goes into beer? Not a lot of things.
It's good to see that there are options now, though, for folks who care about what they're putting into their bodies.
140 different drink brands participating in this,
Thanks, Vic.
If you don't recognize the ingredients, that's always the first sign.
That's a good sign.
Would you say close to earth?
Close to earth,
close to earth. Close to earth.
Eat and drink close to earth.
Yeah. That's what I tell other people to do.
I'm right here, Uncle. The object of your ire. The reason that you were disinherited. If you wish to be restored as heir, you'll need to kill me. So do it. And be done with all this bother.
Be done with all this bother. We're back. It's 8:40. We're back with a rising star in Hollywood, Millie Alcock. You have seen her in HBO's House of the Dragon. Well, now she's taking flight as the iconic Supergirl in DC Studios' newest film, embarking on an epic interstellar journey for justice and revenge. Take a look.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
We can sit down over there.
Let's go.
And the cares that hung around me through the week.
Oh, wow, on the slow clap. Millie, good morning.
Good morning.
I mean, you're out on the plaza, you're handing out Supergirl merch.
Yeah.
Your face is on billboards now. You've got your own popcorn bucket.
I know.
You're a bona fide superhero.
Oh, thank you.
Has it settled in? Have you settled into it yet?
No, it won't. I don't think it will for like another 3 months until it's all kind of over, but I'm just trying to enjoy it right now.
Well, it's not going to be over. You're going to be Supergirl forever.
Forever.
Forever. I mean, I also read that James Gunn, DC Studios head, he wanted you from the beginning.
Yeah.
You fly from Australia. It's like a 20-hour flight.
It's like a 30-hour.
It's like a 30-hour flight.
It's the longest place ever. You can
First ever screen test.
Yeah.
And then he texts you 10 days later?
Yeah. He just texts me, well, he WhatsApped me the deadline article to say that I've been cast. Which was great, but I was also like, just call me, you know? This feels like this is a news that you call someone for.
It should have been, probably.
But yeah, it was very surreal.
But you were a little reluctant to take the gig at first.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, it's just, I'll be Supergirl forever, as you just said. And I think that that's a very daunting experience, but because it was scary, it was something that I knew that I really had to do, all very scary and fulfilling things. I knew that I had to persevere and push through it, but yeah, I'm very grateful.
We don't want to give away too much. I mean, I watched it this weekend with the kids,
Yeah.
and I told you my kids just loved it. For folks who aren't familiar with your character, with Kara, describe Kara and her role and connection to Superman.
Ooh, okay, so Supergirl explores Kara's origin story. So we understand her past, how she's kind of lost absolutely everyone and everything in her entire universe. And Clark was sent to Earth before she was. So she grew up on Krypton, and Krypton, was destroyed. So this film kind of follows her journey within that.
And one of my other favorite characters, Krypto, the dog.
Yeah.
If people love Krypto and Superman, they're really going to love Krypto in this one, too.
Yeah.
How is Kara different from Superman, from her cousin?
She has gone through a lot of trauma. She is a lot more kind of realistic about things, a bit more pessimistic. I think their moral compasses are a bit different. He is like a forever lasting optimist, and she's a bit more realistic about what it means to be good.
That's a great way to do it.
She's got better hair.
Well, she does. She's also a little rough around the edges, too.
Yeah.
Quite rough around the edges. I read that you believe, quote, every role that you play is the person that you need at that point in your life.
Yeah.
How did you need Kara? How do you need Kara right now at this point in your life?
I think I needed Kara because I was in a place where I was really unsure if I could make a career out of acting. Like, I genuinely was a bit kind of confused and stunned and didn't feel that I deserved to be. So Kara, in this really beautiful way, became my Ruthie in the story. I kind of needed her to be able to see what I was capable of and things that I could persevere through. So yeah.
And there's some serious action scenes. And did you have to do some special training for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did like an hour in the morning with a PT, and then we would do 2 hours of stunt training, which sounds more than what it was, but it was really fulfilling, and we worked with a fabulous stunt team. Mickey, my stunt double, is the real Supergirl. Nobody can move like her on screen. She's phenomenal.
Well, you also, again, House of the Dragon, you learned a new language. And
I did.
For this, you also had to learn.
I know.
That's kind of your thing now.
It's in my rider, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
There has to be a new language.
There has to be a new language for me to learn.
Millie, thank you. We enjoyed it so much. We're going to do it again next hour. Millie's going to come back in our third hour with her co-star, Eve Ridley, as well. And Supergirl soars into theaters, including IMAX, this Friday.
Welcome back this morning on today's Consumer, the summer travel season. If you're still planning a vacation, have no fear. Travel expert Mark Elwood is here with some of his favorite underrated destinations so that you can get away without breaking the bank. Mark, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. I feel like we're COVID distance apart, but that's for the big summer
I was going to say, we've got to do this.
Let's jump right in. You're going to take us out west. We're going to start in Colorado. What do you love about this outdoor vacation that the whole family can enjoy?
So I was going to say, the idea behind all of these is dupe destinations. You know, it's not a counterfeit, but if you see an expensive lotion and you think, you know what, I can get a really good version of that a lot cheaper, that's what we've done with travel. And I'm taking you to Grand Junction, Colorado, which is my favorite dupe for Moab. So Moab in Utah, you go for the arches, this incredible deserts, these landscapes. You know what? Rattlesnake Canyon in Grand Junction has the second largest number of arches in America.
Right.
You've got biking, there's some wonderful jump tracks there, and we've got a lovely hotel.
You want us to go to Rattlesnake Canyon?
I mean, I don't know how many snakes there are. I know there are a lot of arches, but we've got a lovely hotel downtown with, you know, free bike loans, all of that, really outdoorsy.
What else is there to do in Grand Junction?
Well, I mean, again, you want to sit there and look at the desert sunsets. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Love that. All right, let's move out to Texas now. Take us to this next spot, moving a little bit east.
So we're going to give you a dupe for the Cotswolds in Britain. Now, again, it stabs me in the heart that I wouldn't send you to the Cotswolds, but I'm going to send you to another place that has real old world charm, a bit like the bucolic countryside of Britain. And this is Fredericksburg in Texas. A lot of German heritage, lovely walkable downtown, charming architecture, and also you've got a lot of wineries. The Cotswolds is now known for sparkling wine in the UK, beating champagne in a lot of taste tests. And of course, Texas Hill Country, about 100 wineries for you to taste the wine there.
Wineries while you're here.
Oh, totally. And we've got this lovely hotel. It's a sort of urban boutique hotel which has a sunken limestone pool outside. Very chic, brand new.
Are these hard to get to?
No, I mean, the whole idea about all of these is that for everyone, they're an easy reach, whether they're drivable, whether there are lots of non-stop direct flights.
All right, next one, a little more affordable Las Vegas experience.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So Vegas is one of my favorite places in the world. You will cut me in half and you'll see Vegas written through me. But I'm going to send you to Lake Charles, Louisiana, which has that same format. We're saying resort pools, tall towers, entertainment, Gladys Knight, Babyface, name brand restaurants like Gordon Ramsay Steak. You've got everything you get in Vegas, plus this sort of Cajun Bayou Creole overlay, which to me is a little extra je ne sais quoi.
All right, only about a minute. You want to do the Lake Superior spot?
Well, you know, I
want to do the wine country.
I think we should do the wine country.
Okay, let's do this
about the wine
as
country.
an alternative to the prices of Napa. Where do you?
So here, I'm going to send you to the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, which is also an official wine designation, just like Napa. You're getting incredible sort of acid-forward wines because of the climate there. You've got about 20 wineries to go around. And again, think about it. Cheaper, fewer crowds. All of these destinations give you that.
You just nailed it.
I mean, I try.
What a gorgeous segment, too. Look at all this beautiful scenery we're seeing.
We're trying to make people want to travel.
Mark.
That's the idea.
Appreciate it. All right.
We're back. We're back with two of the guests getting ready to join us the third hour. NFL icon Terry Bradshaw, music icon, Grammy winner Wyclef Jean. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for being here.
We're buddies now.
I was going to say, did y'all even know each other before today?
No, but we connected. We're officially. He has officially made me a rancher. So I'm. And now I'm a rapper.
Okay.
Oh, that'll be. Hey, Al. How you doing, man? Good, man.
Oh,
you look good.
People together.
How was Father's Day?
Good.
What'd you do?
All family up, all the girls, husband. I brought son-in-laws.
No, I'm sure Noah was there. We're gonna see him.
Noah's there's cooking.
Did they have any of the bourbon?
Lots of bourbon, Al. I got you a bottle a day.
All right. Happy
Father's Day was really amazing. You know, my daughter, 21, hit me with that. Daddy, you my bestie. You know, she crushed my heart in a good way.
How much money is she asking for?
After that, she asked for
When they say daddy,
much more than that.
If they say daddy, you go, okay,
yeah,
how much?
How much?
If they say dad, we're going to have a talk.
Yeah.
By the way, can I say quickly, Clef and I go way back to the MTV days.
Yeah, man, we do.
Fuji's obviously all your solo stuff.
Yeah.
I've been about, I don't know, 9 or 10 years since you put, you got Clef Notes is some new music coming out.
So we have, I'm literally putting out 7 albums.
7?
7 albums. Been working on it in 7 years, and we're celebrating. Of course, this year, the 30th anniversary. Yeah. The last album will end up on the Carnival. So 7 genres that I've bent in the past 30 years, from hip hop to country to jazz.
Gospel.
I love that. You see, he got the whole. This is my man right here. You know what I mean? He got the whole thing.
This is just the beginning. We got much more with Terry and Wyclef coming up in our third hour.
Thanks, gentlemen.
No wonder
Nice
she's
to see
saying
you.
daddy. You got 7 records coming out.
All right, we're back in a moment. First, check your local news, your weather, and these messages. Happy Monday.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.